Gonna take you down, deep down to the front line. You woke up this morning, got yourself a gun.
Hi, this is Ms. Bomi, or Bomi I should say, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make some spaghetti sauce. This is my very first official video on my very first YouTube channel. I'm having a brain fart and I can't think, and I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So to get things started, we're going to talk about the spaghetti sauce and the ingredients. It is going to be a 46-ounce can of tomato juice. You're going to also need some tomato sauce. And this is, I think, a 29-ounce can. And then some tomato paste. Usually 2 small cans that are 6 ounces each work good. I'm doubling my recipe, of course, because I'm having company over for dinner tonight, so I need to make extra. Also, you're going to need some extra virgin olive oil, and also you're going to need about a half an onion chopped pretty finely, if you can. So I've already put a little bit of my olive oil in the pan here. I'm letting this heat up, and the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and throw some onion in there. Now mind you, this isn't like a fast recipe that I did last time where you're done in like a half an hour. This is like an all-day project, so you know, one day when you're hanging out at home, cleaning your guns, your house, whatever, and you feel like making some of this, you can go ahead. But it will take you about, 4 hours for the sauce to be completed. So what I'm going to do is just turn the heat up a little bit here, and what I want to do is get the onions nice and brown before I go ahead and start adding the rest of my ingredients into the pan or pot here. You want to always to make sure you use a pretty good sized pot so that you don't have it coming like right to the rim with your sauce, because that sure does make hard for stirring and trying to add other things. Like if you were making a meat sauce, then you would add your meatballs in there later on down the road. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper and salt here. Give these a stir because I don't want them to get burnt. And I also should add that I have somebody watching live as we're doing this. Hello.
Live studio audience.
Yeah.
She said live studio audience.
Okay, I'm going to turn that off. This will take a few minutes and we'll be right back. Okay, back. We're just letting the onions cook, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but they're starting to turn a nice brown color, and that's what you want. And also at this point in time, I like to chop up some garlic, 2 cloves, because I happen to like garlic. But if you're not such a big fan of garlic, then only use 1. Give that a stir. Let that cook for a minute. Now the next thing that we're going to go ahead and add is going to be our tomato juice. This is the base of the beginning to make the spaghetti sauce. It's starting to smell good already. So I'm going to reduce the heat a little bit because I don't want it to kind of splash too much. And like I said, I'm doubling the recipe, so if you're going to do the actual recipe, it's only one, and I'll post it on my channel too so that everybody knows if they're interested in making it or not, whatever. Either way, you're not gonna rock my world. Okay, now that I've got the tomato sauce, or tomato juice in there rather, I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit higher, because what I want this to do is to heat up nicely. And once it gets to the point where it's kind of starting to bubble from the heat, then we'll go ahead and start adding all the rest of the other ingredients. There's going to be seasonings that I do add to this, but I didn't go through that whole rigmarole. Just when I come across it, I'll just add it. And you'll know. This usually takes about 20 minutes to go ahead and heat up. So once again, I'm going to pause and I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. And now you can see that it started to heat up and it's bubbling. And when it gets to this point, you're going to want to reduce your heat. And then we're going to go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients. Once again, this is the sauce that takes quite a few hours to cook. It's not like the last video where it was really fast, quick, easy. I'm going ahead now and adding some tomato paste. And once again, I'm adding more than I normally would because I'm making a double batch of lasagna because we're having some friends over for dinner tonight. Two small cans is equivalent to a bigger can of tomato paste that I made. I'm using. I didn't make it. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce this even down further and give a stir. I should mention that there's different variations of how to make the spaghetti sauce. This is the variation that came from my grandma and my mom and now to me. So I'm sure there's different ways that people do this, but this was the way that I was taught to make it. So you'll notice too that it's kind of starting to thicken up a little bit. And for the meat sauce, because this is going to go into a lasagna dish, you don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. So I'm going to go ahead and add some tomato sauce. Gonna stir that all in there together. And at this point, you're just going to keep it on low because you don't really need to have it any higher than that. The sauce is nice and hot, obviously, because you can see the steam rising through there. So the next little bit that we need to do is go ahead and add some of our spices, which is going to be oregano, rosemary, thyme, a little bit of garlic powder, and a little bit of onion powder. And one other thing that I do add to my sauce that you may or may not want to do is to add about ½ cup of red wine. Personally, I think it makes this sauce taste better. So I'm going to go ahead and just give this a couple shakes of the oregano, or a few pinches, a few shakes, a few pinches. It's the thing about Italian cooking, everything is not like precise as to how much of what's this and what's that. So far I've done the oregano, the thyme, Doing some rosemary. A little bit of onion powder. A little bit of garlic powder. And at this point I like to add just a little bit more pepper for flavor. You want to go ahead and give this a really good stir to make sure that everything is blending into the sauce nicely. Give that a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and add the wine. Can't find my half a cup, so I'll use my quarter cup. And this is just red wine. It's a Merlot. Pretty much you can put whatever that you like in it, you know, to your whatever your desired taste is. I'm going to go ahead and give this a stir.
The end result is pretty much the same if you use an inexpensive versus expensive.
Yes. Okay. And the last thing that I'm going to grab out of my little seasoning, because I don't see any right there on the counter, is some dry bay leaves. And you want to try to get as many whole pieces rather than partial ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6. Put that into the sauce. Give that a good stir. And basically this part is done for the most part. It just has to sit and, you know, continue to simmer on the stove. You want it to simmer for at least 3 to 4 hours before going ahead and using it in your lasagna. So I'll just let this continue cooking. And that's basically how you make the sauce. I will post the recipe out on my site there in case anybody is interested to take the whole entire day to make sauce. I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, who knows. But anyways, this has just got to cook.
You have to learn the jargon. It's it'll be posted down there in the description box.
Down there in the description box.
Yes.
So this is part 1 on how to make a spaghetti sauce that takes most of the day. The second part that I'm going to upload a video for is making the lasagna and how I do that.
So that's it for the red sauce. Just a matter of simmer time.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is Ms. Bomi saying good night and good eats.